Okay, part two. Let's continue and do a repeat. Now for the left side. Again, we're loosening up the hip, the glutes, the hip flexors. Alaska wanted to show you how it's really done. And now, using the strap, if necessary, we'll go into the hamstring stretch. Slowly releasing, we'll come back into what's comfortable for us for the quad stretch. You can never overemphasize the importance of the way you're breathing, because that's what's going to tell your nervous system whether the muscle can let go or whether it should be in protection mode, and then nothing is going to release. And let's just revisit the hamstring. You can certainly hold these longer than I am right now for this video. And once you get this routine where it feels good to you, you know, if this particular order feels good to you, then you can stay longer in any of these positions. Let's do the quad stretch one last time. And now, while in this position, remember that move where we brought our leg back and tapped our big toe on the ground behind us? It opens up hip flexor, adductor, but that little TFL muscle gives a little bit of a stretch there. And now let's just lengthen the leg and to the ability. My hip doesn't operate perfectly, so there's sort of when I try to come up, I want to come straight, but it's going to have its own sort of unique movement pattern, which is not uncommon for all of us. So, you know, you go with that movement pattern and still try to open it up as well, keeping it loose. And now I'm just doing rotations here, trying not to hit the table. Both directions. Okay, now let's come on up. Watch out, buddy. And now we're going to do something that you might not have done before. And we're focusing on our rotators of our hips, which obviously get very tight. And this is one that helps with that. In this position, while you're supporting yourself, you're going to start to move and rotate. Your leading leg is going to hit the ground first, followed by the back leg. And then you reverse slowly. Again, you're going as far as you can comfortably, with a goal to be able to have the knees touching the floor in both directions. Hip mobility, as you know, is so important on so many levels, but it also is very important in terms of helping protect the back. All right. And now, this is a little bit extra credit, if you will. They call this sort of a seated hurdler stretch. So your front leg, in this case my left leg, is in a 90-degree bend. My back leg is, as you can see, bent behind me. The idea here, and I'm supporting myself, is you bring this leg up, over, and you try to bring it so it's at least at the level of your knee, and then you bring it back. So that's the hurdler's part. And I'll do anywhere from 8 to 10 of these. Now, it is possible when you first try this, you might not be able to do it at all. That's just because of how tight the hips are. So then you just do all the other things that we're doing here. As your hips loosen up, this will be a nice indicator that you're really gaining. Now what I like to do after I've done that, since my front leg is already in a nice position to stretch the external rotators in my glutes on my left side, I'll begin to come down. Now what I'll do here is I'll put both fists one on top of the other, and I'll attempt to come right over my knee and see if I can bring my forehead to touch the top fist. Now, you could also, watch out, buddy. You could just sort of extend out over it like this to whatever degree you're able to. You can definitely feel it in that part of the glute there. And then breathe into it for a while. And see after, say, 30 seconds or so, if you notice it start to soften a little bit. If it feels like we're talking actual pain, don't do it, obviously. And now, let's reverse sides. The front leg is now in the 90 degree, and my left leg is going to come over and back. And this is going to be 8 this time. And now, just like we did before, if you prefer, just let yourself stretch over your knee. Now, you may find this or this is as far as you go and the muscle starts to go, yeah, I don't think so. So honor that. Again, it's the consistency. Maybe the next time or in a week, you find yourself like this. And over a period of time, it doesn't really matter. You get to a point where you can eventually go into a deeper, which means a deeper stretch in those deep glute muscles. And then focus on your slow breath. Slowly come out of it. And now what I like to do, because I'm getting ready to stand up, is a little bit of reverse. So I like to sort of finish before I come fully up. I like to go back into the psoas or the hip flexor stretch and do a few of these. Just some dynamic movements here on both sides. Because we were in some positions that were shortening those hip flexors. So I always like to give the last message to the hip flexors to lengthen. And now we can stand up. Let me reposition the camera here for one last thing. Okay, well, you can see what you need to see. So now we're going to finish with another hamstring stretch. This is just a subtle little variation which I learned not too awful long ago, but it makes such a difference. We've all heard about just bending down to try to touch your toes a little bit. And a lot of times people say, well, it's the low back that's keeping me from doing that, and there's some truth in that. But oftentimes it's really the hamstrings that are so tight. So to stretch, to really emphasize the stretch on the hamstrings, we go back to the pelvis here. So remember, the pelvis is like a bucket. So what we want to do first is a posterior tilt. And if you were to put your hand on your back and tilt, you're straightening actually, or flattening your low back. So this is going to, when you begin to go into a forward release posture, this is what's going to really emphasize the hamstrings. The key, you do this while standing upright, is to feel that, and then you keep that posture in your pelvis. Don't come out of it. Keep it there as you come forward. Very slowly. And what I noticed when I was doing this, making that little adjustment, is I feel everything into the hamstrings. This also strengthens your low back so that you're not taking a chance on compromising your low back, and it's really putting the emphasis on the hamstrings. And hang out and use your breath. Only go as far down as is comfortable. And after whatever length, 30 seconds, whatever, once you feel things start to open, slowly come back up. And I like to come all the way up and just sort of do a little bit of a rocking movement here. And there's a sequence for you. I hope that that helps. I love you, boo.